The first industrial revolution. Water and steam power was used to mechanize production. And for the second, electric power came in handy to create mass production. And the third, the age of electronics and information technology to automate production. Nigeria and other African nations substantially missed out of the three first industrial revolutions. Revolutions that transformed modern society. With each of these three advancements, the world around us fundamentally changed. And right now, it is happening again for a fourth time. We are poised at the beginning of the fourth industrial revolution. And this time, the revolution is powered by cloud, social, mobile, the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence, along with increasing computing power and data. And again, Nigeria and Africa is at the risk of missing out of this fourth revolution. The fundamental question here is, where have we been and where are we headed next as a country and continent to avoid the digital revolution from not only reinforcing the existing divide or even creating a new one?
Is research oriented. Research in the sense that you are always working towards getting a better way of doing things. You are always seeking for a better or easier way of making life comfortable for man. And that is done only in the area of research and science-based issues. We have missed in the first revolution. We have missed the second. And the third we will also miss if not care is not taken, as you said. But all these things centered on quite a lot of sector. Who are the people involved in the design? Who are the people involved in the research? Do we have funding that is necessary to carry out this research? Do we have the environmental condition that is suitable for this research? Do you have the material to do it? Material is available. But what is the technical know-how that you have upstairs that can enable you to do it? Do you have the equipment that can do it?
Since Nigerian independence in 1960, various administrations showed interests and increased appreciation of the role of science, technology and innovation in national socio-economic development. The realization of this fact motivated the federal government to re-establish the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology as a separate entity in 1985. Since then, Nigeria has expended a great deal of effort on science and technology policy development through a combination of the untiring efforts of its scientists, engineers and technologists, international cooperation and government support. Consequently, the first national science and technology policy in the country was produced in 1986. The policy was designed to create harmony in the pursuit of knowledge about the environment through research and development. The aim was to use science and technology knowledge to ensure a better quality of life for the people. The policy was reviewed in 1997 to give more emphasis to coordination and management of science and technology system, sectoral development, collaboration and funding. In 2003, the policy underwent yet another review to take account of lapses observed in the implementation of the 1997 policy, especially on the need to address the institutional frameworks that should foster interaction among the various elements of national innovation system. and consequent upon another revision with emphasis placed on innovation, which has become a global tool for fast-tracking sustainable development. In 2012, the first National Science, Technology and Innovation Policy was formulated.
Yes, when I came in November 2015, there was only one policy, the Science, Technology and Innovation Policy. This is for the whole nation. For this policy, though it was passed by the Federal Executive Council in 1986, the policy was not fully operational because the lead organ, the National Research and Innovation Council, that is chaired by the president himself, and has at least 16 ministers, and then the leading private sector, Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, and all that. They never met for a day. And when I brought this to the attention of the president, I must commend him. He said, no, this must change. So you can see Mr. President acted very quickly.
It took the intervention of President Muhammadu Buhari for the Council to meet for the first time on January 7, 2016, after 30 years. And to this date, the Council has met 9 times with yet another review of the policy that has been approved by the Federal Executive Council.
And I want to say to you that in addition, that very policy we have reworked it. We now have National the Science, Technology and Innovation Policy 2022, because we have to keep working on their policy so that they will respond to changes, because technology, science and technology are things that move very quickly.
Realities on ground obviously show that Nigeria is in a dire need to leapfrog technologically. And experts are of the opinion that unless Nigeria and other African countries leapfrog into the information age, the economic gap between Europe and Africa would widen because Europe is about to enter the age. In other words, to catch up, Africa must take 2 steps for every step Europe takes. Opinions have it that since it is not necessary to become fully industrialized before entering the information age, the hope is Nigeria should use a multi-pronged attack strategy to enter the information age. This is the situation the country has found itself in the last 7 years since the present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari took charge.
The job creation is very important. Nigeria has the largest population in Africa and one of the largest populations in the world. We need to plan, to make sure that we can have enough jobs for our people. And the level of unemployment and underemployment in the country now is high. So everything we are doing is to help job creation, employment generation. And most people don't know that science, technology, and innovation hold the key to job creation and employment generation.
And this time, not just a series of policies, programs, and initiatives have been rolled out, but implementation strategies also accompanied. As Nigeria now enters into a new phase in her development strides, with inherent emerging challenges within the context of the evolving globalization, 6 other policies were developed and rolled out in the space of the last 7 years. The Science, Technology and Innovation Roadmap 2017 to 2030. It is aimed at ensuring that Nigeria's economy is no longer entirely dependent on commodities, but should be dependent on knowledge that is innovation-driven.
And the roadmap is for the whole nation. All the MDAs, ministry, departments, and agencies, they had functions, what they should do, and when they should do them. And it has helped us because today you can see we are moved into a knowledge economy. And that is why there is diversification, which we didn't have before. The the income revenue coming in from non-oil sources is growing.
The National Strategy for Competitiveness in Raw Materials and Product Development, which was in line with the current federal government's Economic Recovery Growth Plan of 2017 to 2020. The strategy recognizes the need to leverage on science, technology, and innovation to drive competitiveness and build a knowledge-based economy.
And this is to help us, to improve our productivity and our competitiveness in the world. So in the world, you rank productivity, you rank performance, and the World Economic Forum they normally do ranking for countries. Take for example, by the time Mr. President was coming in, 2014, 2015, the ranking was 127 over 144 countries. Now, but by 2018, 2019, Nigeria now became ranked 115 out of 140 countries. So you can see the very big change that has taken place. And it's so important because what it's telling you is that your productivity is going up and that you are competing favorably. And you can see this with our agencies.
The Presidential Executive Order Number 5 for planning, execution of projects, promotion of Nigerian content in contracts, science, engineering and technology. And as part of the effective implementation of the order, the National Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion, NOTAP, has already engaged an indigenous firm that has developed a digital platform to collect the database of Nigerian scientists and contractors at home and in diaspora.
Executive Order Number 5 it's a revolutionary order which Nigeria wants to be self-sufficient, self-reliant, reduce importation of goods, create jobs for our people, create wealth for Nigerians. That's what the executive order, in essence, that's what it wants to accomplish, to ensure that we produce the things that we now import into the country.
The Executive Order 5, in our own opinion, is like a revolution without a gun. A revolution in the sense that it would ensure the development of local content. It will also ensure that Nigerian professionals are involved in the execution of projects on science, technology, engineering in this country. If any giant project is taking place in this country, in most cases you see only expatriates. But this Executive Order 5 now is giving the Nigerian professionals the chance to compete favorably, but with some advantages. Where you have Nigerian companies that have the competencies, and you have foreign companies that have equally the same competencies, the Executive Order encourages procuring entities to first of all give consideration to Nigerians than to people outside the country. But even within the Nigerian company, if they are quoting for any job and they discover that maybe they have 1 or 2 professionals that are not available within their own company, the order encourages them to go outside the country and get a competent technical partner that will help them to actualize their dream of executing that project. And for NOTAP to establish and continuously update the database of Nigerian professionals, we need experts, we need facilities. We have been able to acquire the facilities, and recently we got a Nigerian IT company that developed the applications for us, the software locally developed in this country. And that is the software we are riding on to execute this Executive Order 5.
The National Energy Policy, which establishes guidelines for the protection of the environment and the exploitation of Nigeria's fossil fuels. It also emphasizes the exploration of renewable and alternative energy sources, primarily solar, wind, and biomass. The National Leather and Leather Products Policy, a policy drawn out of the need to support the national economic recovery efforts, create jobs for the teeming Nigerians, maximize wealth for both small and large-scale investors in the leather industry, and substitute import by enhancing the performance of Nigerian-made leather productions. And the National Policy on Methanol Fuel Production Technology, which, if properly implemented, the policy will birth a new era of sustainable alternative fuel, increased flare gas utilization, reduced dependence on crude oil, and a cleaner environment.
It's very important. One, we have gas more than we even have oil. Nigeria is essentially more of a gas nation, and as the world is moving away from petroleum, crude oil, gas is a transition fuel, so it's going to remain very important for a long time. But in Nigeria, we flare our gas. But now, if you can use that gas to produce methanol, and methanol is a wonder chemical by itself. You can use it for transportation, you can use it for energy, you can use it for power generation. So you have something. But above all, methanol is a wonder chemical that you can use to produce as many as over 1,000 products that we use in our homes, in our offices, in our hospitals, in our schools. And that is why, you see, you have to produce it. Using gas is one way. You can use biomass to do so, but gas is easier. Now, but the reason why it's very important to use gas is that once you start using gas, then there will be so much gas that you need to produce the methanol.
In addition to these, the government is currently working to develop and promote the policy on nanotechnology in order to quicken national development and economic diversification. Now, using science, technology, and innovation, the Nigerian government made very important contributions to food and nutrition security of the nation. By effectively applying biotechnology, new improved varieties of crops and animal breed were released to farmers across the country under the present administration.
We have already now deployed the technology that will help the rural community. Most essentially in this National Livestock Transformation Program, we have developed a digester locally fabricated, and then we have developed the microorganisms that will ferment the waste to bring out wells, which means to bring out gas, the required quantity of gas that could be used to cook, the gas that could be used to generate electricity. And this, we have done it. And having said that, we have already collaborated with Rural Electrification Agency in the country. And they have now keyed in to see that we have optimized it to bring it to the local community. We have already mapped out an action plan for deploying this technology to the local community for their consumption, which means this will go a long way towards solving the problem of light that we are having in the country.
Funding for the sector has now received a boost following the pronouncement by the President last year that a minimum of 0.5% of the nation's gross domestic product will henceforth be dedicated to research and innovation in order to fast-track meaningful development in the country.
We must emphasize that this
0.5% of our gross domestic product, which Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari, has already dedicated for research and innovation in the country, is for the science, technology, and innovation ecosystem. That is to say, that is not just for the Federal Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, no. This is for all the research institutes, wherever they are, whether at the federal level, state level, within our industrial laboratories, also in our universities, in our polytechnics, wherever you have innovation, even in the informal sector, within the organized private sector. So this is money that every tier of government will benefit from, because research and innovation is for the good of everybody. If we do enough research and innovation in our country, we'll be in a position now to come up with research findings that can be commercialized into products, new products. Innovation can help us to get a product that we already have to be better than what it is. Research can give us a completely new product that we will need both in Nigeria and also for export to other nations. We have the African Free Continental and Free Trade Area, which gives us the opportunity to have a market that is more than 1.2 billion people. But Nigeria is so lucky. We have a population of over 200 million people. Not only few countries have this advantage. So we already have a large market, so that when we come up with new products or we do innovation, even to satisfy the demands in our own country, is an opportunity that many countries do not have.
This place has been formed 20 years ago, 21 years ago, and it is only now that the bill, the act establishing this agency, has been signed, and this is a tremendous achievement. This gives us a strength to do research of all kinds under biotechnology, and this is the key. Now we have the license to carry out research and development in the area of biotechnology across everything. And that is one big thing that I would like to thank Mr. President for assenting into this bill. Also, I would like to thank Mr. President for he is the one that introduces research grant to the agency in 2016. We have started receiving research grant in the agency from 2016 to date. And with this research grant, we have done a lot, and we are doing a lot. And I will appeal to Mr. President if we can have a special high-impact research grant, high-impact fund that will revitalize everything. We want to have our laboratories that we don't need to go far to do these researches. We want befitting concept of the equipment that will be used for conducting these various researches that I have mentioned.
With these frantic moves in place, Nigeria now is heading towards a future where innovation, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics will drive her growth and development. This is heading towards the point where indigenous expertise leads the way in discovering and applying new emerging technologies and in finding new ways in adapting to climate change, fighting diseases, hunger, and poverty.
Our main problem is marketing this research product. We are to bring out the research as a pilot scheme. We are expected to sell this research for someone to produce it in mass so that he can market it. But most of our private sectors, people that are expected to patronize our research, are not coming. NIBRI has done quite a lot in area of compressed earth blocks. Compressed earth blocks is produced naturally from laterite. Initially, we started by having collaboration with Hydroform, where we import machines from South Africa, Hydroform. From there, we went on to import the knockout parts so that we assemble them ourselves. And now, as I'm talking to you, we produce our machines ourselves. Our product of the compressed earth blocks is very good. It is cheaper, it is durable, and very easy to produce. Even an unskilled person can produce it. Apart from that, again, NIBRI has come up with the area of pozzolana. The pozzolana is a product that naturally we try to substitute cement. You know, cement has been enjoying its patronage as far as construction industry is concerned. It doesn't have a rival. When the cost of cement goes up, people must buy because there is no alternative. NIBRI look at way of bringing up an alternative in area of construction as a binder. We come up with pozzolana, a pozzolana that is produced from natural waste. And the good thing is that we went to China some years back to import this pilot scheme where the products are going to be produced. But we discovered that most of the parts were a little bit faulty. We ended up fabricating the parts ourselves. We were replacing all these Chinese parts with Nigerian-made-in parts, and the products are very sound. We came up with good pozzolana products. The pozzolana are produced from agricultural waste, and the other one is naturally occurring from scoria. Scoria is this light stone people use in cleaning their leg. It is highly deposited in Plateau, in Keran area.
As Nigeria gradually slides into the digital revolution, stakeholders' opinions suggest that preparing for the future of Nigeria will be impossible if, in seeking for solutions to problems, science, technology, and innovation is denied priority. The future is here.